My name is Rawad Abu Zaki. I'm the founder of Hover City, the company that is building the world's first flying house. In order for you to wrap your head around it, I'm going to show you a video first, and then we kickstart.
Cities, centers of innovation, yet still built around primitive and heavy infrastructures. Built on some of the most advanced systems, yet everything seems burdened by complexity. They are home to champions of climate change, yet cities contribute to more than 40% of our global emissions. They are centers of opportunity, but on average, 20% of urban residents suffer from depression and other behavioral health issues. We continue to build huge empty spaces, yet more than 14 million people become homeless every year due to climate and economic migration. And should a pandemic hit, cities become prisons where disease spreads at staggering rates. Today, everything changes. Introducing Hover House, the world's first flying, modular, and sustainable living unit. With complete automation, it can instantly assemble with other units to form off-grid buildings and then disassemble, leaving no footprint behind. Hover House is a unique living experience for adventure seekers, an inspiration to curious technology minds, a shelter for the most vulnerable, and all while protecting our precious natural resources. Welcome to Hover City, a city for bold imaginations.
Thanks for listening to watching the video. I wanted to give a little bit background about myself first and how the journey led me to build flying houses. The journey takes us around 15 countries that I've lived around. I was born in Kuwait initially, and we escaped the Gulf War to Lebanon, where I was raised, and I built my first tiny house. I was 11, and because we were moving too much, I wanted to take it with me all the time. So I built a bunch of wheels with a bicycle, and my mom said, "There's no way you're taking it on the road." So that's was my first journey for mobile housing. I went into architecture school, and I got so bored. Architects just use old material. They just do incremental improvement, nothing on the macro level, but on the micro level only. So I moved to Italy, where I finished my studies in transportation design and built a career designing cars, yachts, and airplanes for companies around Europe, in the Middle East, in South Asia. And while I was leading a car sharing project in China, I learned about big data. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to change the world. Like, if we are going with the big data, we can be decentralized. We can start a revolution in the way we build cities. We go back to our nomadic roots. The whole concept of settling becomes irrelevant for the evolution that we're into. So I went on stage for BMW back then. We were talking about the future of mobility, and I tell them, well, Henry Ford said people wanted faster horses, so I created the car. But I'm going to tell you that cars are horses, and the future is for flying houses. So two mistakes here. Never quote Henry Ford in Germany. And the second one is that we didn't have a business plan or something that can visualize how do you do that? How do you achieve this grand vision? So I started, the first company was called Creavan. It was a university in RVs. So I started getting RVs, putting students on them and taking them on tours around Europe to study through decentralization and adventure. Obviously, we failed as a first company that I started, and I blame it only on COVID. But we obviously did a lot of mistakes, and we had to shut down because of COVID 3 times. We lost all we had, but now I'm stuck in Paris in an apartment. I can't go out, and New York is like a prison. We knew it's time for Hover City. We started building the product, but then, so I don't know, luck unlock, I'm originally from Beirut. There was a big explosion in the port of Beirut in 2020, where my sister used to live right in front of the port. And I lost a lot of people I know. 300,000 people lost their homes in a second, and the only solution is tents. and nobody wants their people to live in tents. Whenever you see it on the TV, it's okay, but whenever it starts to become very personal, you understand the hardship that people live in tents. So we got an LOI from the Red Cross, and then we moved to the US in Austin, Texas, and we started realizing what's the problem here, is that if, from my background in transportation design, a car is way more sophisticated in technology than a house. The amount of technology in cars is incredible. And you can afford a fully electric car right now, Mitsubishi, at $14,000, and it stays on the assembly line for 3 minutes. The manufacturing of electric cars takes 3 minutes on the assembly line. Take it to prefab houses, you will have 3 months to 6 months lead time. You will have immense cost with minimum technology that they throw a solar panel on it and they tell you that's like $10,000 more because it's fully off-grid, because they don't have the efficiencies of automotive design. So that's where we brought in Hover House as the world's first flying ultralight house. We build tiny houses that are extremely lightweight, 3,500 pounds only, and then we fly them to in the process to automate the delivery and assembly of buildings and having mobile architecture. Our houses are completely off-grid. They run on integrated solar panels in the walls and roof. We have a harvesting and filtration system with our system with integrated tanks inside the unit. Each unit can house up to 300 gallons of water. We have incredible R value and insulation. I'm going to speak a bit about it in a second. And then we're also modular, so the units connect together like plug and play. And then if you start with one unit, 140 square feet, you want to scale, you can add, just plug in more units and have a building. But they're also incredibly strong. And the longevity is the paint on these houses will fade after your car paint fades. The reason why we are very unique is that because we implemented agile manufacturing into the process. So now we build everything, an entire house can be built by the end of 2024 within 24 hours, from raw material to production. That's because we use an origami style of sheet metal forming. We create everything from one sheet metal only. We cut, weld, and bend in special ways to create everything, interior, exterior, chassis, cladding. That drops down cost dramatically because it cuts down labor cost. So what do we do next? We reinvest all our benchmark into tech integration, so we can put the best tech in the world into the houses and have a competitive price, much higher quality than anything on the market, because the tolerances, if you know what tolerances are, in the automotive industry are like 0.5 millimeter of centimeters. We're also, because we built like aircrafts, so an aircraft withstands minus 50 Fahrenheit up there and then goes down instantly within like 20 minutes from the minus 50 degrees to plus 100 degrees without having any issue with R value. You never felt the temperature change in your airplane. That's because we use something called chamber. I can't go into too much IP, but pretty cool stuff that keep it lightweight. The houses are 140 square feet. They are modular, interior, everything. We have the living area can convert between a twin bunk to a queen size, to a bed, to a sofa, to an office, whatever you need. It includes a complete kitchen and a full shower, wet shower on board. We have also some of the possibilities when you start connecting the units together and creating bigger spaces. You can see how much we can change by colors and have stuff like looking like gems in the middle of nature, no infrastructure required. You don't have to drill anything. You don't have to do anything else. We're starting in a very unique market. It's like dooms preppers days and ranch owners and people who have land in the middle of Santa Teresa with no roads. You can drop it with a helicopter right now. When I was here in Yoko the other time, I came in late again. Sorry, I'm always a troublemaker. But because we were delivering our very first house to a user, which this is like the story from 2014 when we started. I started building it by my own hands and delivered it in Paris in Vivatech, one of the biggest technology show in Europe, then moved to the US and delivered the first full-scale prototype with a drone mock-up on top of it. And then that's how easy it is. You can move it with a forklift because it's very lightweight, which, by the way, drops the cost of delivery dramatically. This is our first house that was delivered while I was pitching here in Yoko, the other Yoko Connect. I was blessed to have the same day delivery of the first unit. And today, while I was landing also in Costa Rica, I was a bit late because we were in due diligence with investors. And the moment the airplane landed, we got our first investor signing their term sheet on our first big round, which was huge for us because we brought all this with no investment, close to no investment in 2.5 years, bootstrapping, working hard. We raised only $50,000 to build this whole company, and we brought it to revenue, and now we're raising to scale up. Which, thanks to Yoko, by the way, because the energy here is incredible. And also, if you notice the prices, so we start now that we are not at scale. So if you order 1 unit, you can range anywhere between $52,000 to $68,000, complete house, like it's running. You just deliver it to you and it's running. And we can even improve the price down. And if you decide to buy land from Yoko and drop one on this, we have a coupon special just for Yoko, 10% off. Just talk to me later, I give you the code. And then you can start buying land here because this is the future here. And also, what else is left? We have a lot of engagement with Ukraine after the war. Here I was meeting the president of Estonia to speak about manufacturing facilities in Estonia for East Europe. We have the Red Cross, incredible pipeline of people. The round we're raising now is $600,000. It's going to allow us to file more IP and scale as quick as we can with the minimum requirement that we need. We signed our first term sheet, as said before, and I'm really excited about that. The roadmap is we're starting with the flight system. The first client that ordered the house now is going to get their house delivered to their ranch with a helicopter dropped in and ready to go. And then we're starting our technology integration, optimization of the flight system into arriving to fully autonomous drones that will lift it. And it is possible. Like, we have it on paper, so just wait and watch, because many people are doubting the fact that you can lift that much heavy. And then when we go into 2027 is when we IPO. 2030 is when we start proposing Hover City as a sustainable way of building cities on Earth and beyond. Wink, wink, if you've watched The Dictator. Yeah, so that's it for me, I guess. The future markets, flying houses. Once you can order a fully flying houses with the flight system as well, we can dominate the RV industry, because who wants to drive a road if you can fly anywhere you want? We can go with events and festivals. Think Burning Man, Coachellas, all these. Like, we can drop in complete lodges and get them out. FIFA as well. Incredible new experiences for hospitality and travel that combines between travel and lodging without having to take an Uber, go to the airplane, get an Uber, go to an Airbnb, go to a hotel, come back. You can do it all in one. Military application is huge for us as well, for automated bases and space. So I think that's it. That's how the technology is. And yeah, finishing up with a Yoko image that is not shown. Oh, here we go. Also, you can draw whatever you want with the houses, so let's go Yoko. Thank you, and if you have any questions, happy to answer. Any questions? Or
question.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it. Is that aluminum?
Correct. Yeah, we use aluminum sheet.
No carbon fiber, just aluminum.
No carbon fiber. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you need a pilot's license?
No, fully automated. When we go with the flight that you can control, it's fully automated. You just set it on the map where it should be, and you will continue your life normally while you're flying to your destination. Yeah.
So how does this technology relate to Yoko?
So Yoko has a lot to do in infrastructure yet. So there are a lot of roads that still have to be developed. There is an incredible amount of hospitality experiences that you can get from hiking routes, that you can walk in the forest and find a house that's fully self-sustained, like you don't need an infrastructure to have it, sleep in it, and then move to the second location.
And how do you get the water there?
It's integrated. We have 300 gallons of water.
Fly it with the water.
Correct. So we are at 3,500 pounds, thanks for asking the question, with the solar panels and 300 gallons of water. So it's incredibly, and fully furnished as well. Yeah.
How about like earthquakes and tsunamis and all this kind of?
So we're working currently now, like we launched with the UT of Austin, University of Texas in Austin, to do all the seismic studies, and it's about how to bolt the unit. The unit is pretty strong, like very strong, but the way we bolt to the ground is going to be the one we're going after next for seismic loads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's 140 square feet. So most of the US, you don't need a permit to have it. It follows all the street codes as well with width, 8.4 feet. So you can put it on an 18-wheeler and run it. You can lift it with a forklift that's $200 an hour instead of a crane that's $200 a day instead of a crane that's $2,000 an hour. It's very easy to move around. I love that he was presenting. I want to talk to him a lot about it, because if you can even like reposition your units based on the things, I really would like to talk about that.
What kind of fuel moves this thing?
Sorry?
The solar panels moving it, or do you need diesel?
So we do have,
gasoline? What is it?
yeah, it's fully powered by solar. We have a backup diesel generator.
Even the drone part, that flies it.
So the drone part is not only a drone, as you see, because we can't showcase the IP, but it's fully electric with an integration, a special type of integration on the aerodynamics side. So we're going to be showcasing it in Q3. So
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fully electric, complete. Yeah,
Lithium or lead battery?
lithium ion. Yeah.
How far can you fly based on what technology that you're going for?
So now with the helicopters have a range about 2.5 hours. To put it in perspective, San Francisco to Los Angeles in a car is 45 minutes. You can do it by flight in 15 minutes. You can do with the 2.5 hours. We're focusing on last mile delivery, so you would arrive to the beginning of Santa Teresa, for example, and then we pick it from there with the helicopter and we drop it on top of the mountain wherever you need it.
So when you're saying the helicopter, you need not the technologies you have top of the house.
Correct. Like we need to pass a lot of regulations still before we can go with our flight system. So we're using helicopters now, piloted helicopters, and we're working with other companies like Cayman who do autonomous helicopters to improve our flight system to arrive to automation. And then what we need to accomplish as first milestone is last mile delivery. 1 mile is a lot in flight. Like you can reach really long distances. Anything else? Good? Yes.
So if somebody wanted to buy one today,
Mm-hmm.
and then, or next week or whatever, do you have a plan already for Costa Rica, for Yoko Village or surrounding?
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, we do. We've been planning it for a few months now.
Like you have the helicopter operator?
Correct, yes.
All of that's in place?
Yes, we have the logistics figured out.
That's done.
And don't forget the 10% discount for you. Okay, I think we're good here. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. You're awesome. I'm really blessed to be here.